What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Simulation for the Nation and welcome back to the West Coast. We are currently in our Massey 7724 and we have got a new toy on the back. Now this, following on from our last episode, oh, get around there, well done car, thank you for stopping. We are heading up to where our new straw facility is going to be, and on the back there, as you just saw when I looked around through the rear window, we have got a shiny new little, it's not a telehandler really, it's a bit smaller than that, but we have a new Kramer loader on the back of the trailer here, and this is going to be staying up at the facility. We're going to be able to handle both straw bales coming in and also, more importantly, the chemicals and the additives we need to put into the pellets. In this case, it's primarily molasses. So we'll be handling those, and also the goods coming out the other end, so the pallets of straw that we will be going back onto a loader to sell. So, as I mentioned, we have it, it's still in the back here, and we're going to take it up there. There's a lot to show you since the last time we were there, so I just need to get back over the road, because you might be able to see just through the trees there. There's actually a lot more trees. That's one thing you can probably establish. We've planted a lot more trees around there just to kind of give us a little bit more privacy during our operation. So we're just going to head up here. There's a lot of road signs here that I'm in danger of taking out. There we go. Alright, so as you can see right ahead of us, the fabrication has been completed. We have a sturdy looking structure. So since we were last here, we have done a lot of work, as I mentioned, and we're going to run through what we've been able to kind of complete it in the time since we last came here. That's a bit of a rise up in the new gateway. We might have to lower that down at some point, but for now it's okay. And here we are. So we're just going to pull this Massey out of the way for now. Leave you there. So, as you can see, to begin with, the yard's a lot clearer, tidier. This cabin has been moved. I wanted to keep hold of it because it's a handy little office to have, really. It was over in this corner here, but we have moved that. And we cleared up all of the other clutter, really, lying around, so we have full use of this barn. And as you can see, yeah, the yard looks a bit bigger. We've extended it out. We've cut into the field here a little bit, so we've managed to extend it out to give us a bit of turning circle, and actually laid down a lot more concrete last week just to cover over some of the broken ground. So this gives us the space here to bring straw wagons, tractors, trailers in, so we can actually get them looped around in here properly. And then here we have a shiny new facility. Now, like I say, we planted some trees up here just to give us a bit of a border and kind of keep the outside world prying eyes out, really. So we brought in some transplanted birch and oak trees, so they're going to grow into there quite nicely. And this is our facility. Now, this is looking a bit barren at the moment. It is going to be looking a bit more hectic in the not too distant future, because we are expecting a couple of deliveries now in the next like half hour or so whilst we're still up here. So we're going to be having our processor coming into here, and we've actually brought in some old muscle as well just to power the pellet machine. So it'll be something interesting to see there. As you can see, we've also got a crane on the top. I opted to put the crane in there. I don't know how much is going to be used, to be honest. I prefer the idea of using a small loader, given that we're going to have to be coming in and out all the time. So we will probably be using that a little bit more than perhaps normal. But the cranes there is a nice second option, really. And then this is our lovely little Kramer loader. Nice tiny little machine that we can use here. It has got the ability to be, it has four-wheel steer. It's not an articulated machine, so it is nice and small. And by the sounds of things, here is surprise gift number 1 as it rattles its way along here. What is he doing? Well, he's up here. I don't know how he made it, but he is up here. So let's go have a look at this first machine, and we'll come back to you in a minute. And so here we have the machine that is kind of the backbone to this entire operation here, really. This is our Chrome Primos, and what this actually does, it can be worked in two ways. It can either drive along a straw swath in the field, and it'll harvest straw through there, and then this little device in here kind of rolls it up into really tight pellets. And from that stage it goes into the hopper here and then can be tipped into a trailer. Or the other option is the option that we're going to be doing, whereby we are going to attach something onto the side here, Okay, there. And what that does is it's like a loading belt. So if you imagine the loader here will drive in with a bale of straw, drop onto the loader here, which feeds it into the machine, and the machine is just going to tip it straight into the back of this belt here. This hopper then loads it up into the machine in the corner, and this is the machine that really is the packing unit really. So we have our polythene bags here, and it will pack all the polythene up, and then eventually it goes and pops it onto the belt over here. We form a pallet, the pallet comes down, gets shrink wrapped, and then it comes out over here, and then we're done. So it's very simple. In theory, it's a very easy system to work, but in order for that to work, it needs some power. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a fantastic beauty of some old iron that I was able to find. This is a glorious old John Deere 4755, and I'm going to have a look into this a bit further. I've got a little bit of a traffic jam here, so we'll figure out where we can put these lorries, and I'll come right back. Alrighty guys, we are inside our Kramer here. We're just going to have to unload those pallets first, so we can then unload the John Deere, have a look around that, and then we'll be able to get the crone off the back of the lorry there. So as you can see here, everything's very nicely laid out. So the compact machine, but it's nice and clean and ergonomic. We've got all of our, or majority of our controls on the joystick. Quick select forward and backwards, hydraulic controls, and for the first and second service as well on the hydraulics. So we're just going to drive this off the edge here without driving it off the side. And then we're just going to pop some of our little our forks into here. We don't need these on right now. Nice and clear view throughout the Kramer here, which is great. It's exactly what I wanted. And to be honest, for the machine, for the cost of this, it was next to nothing. And we do need to have something up here full time, because we are hopefully going to be having a lot of straw being processed through here. And so to have anything else would have meant that my farm loader would have spent a lot of time up here, which is something that I can't really justify, given that we will need it across the farm. Alright, so let's go back. So what we have here also, we have a couple of pallets of molasses at the moment, so we're just going to pop these down to the side. This is just allowing us a little basic stock so we can get going more than anything else, but we do need to remove those. And then also the auger belt on the side of the on the back of the John Deere there will also need to come off. Oh, too low. There's one. I do like to fly off the edge quite quickly. This Kramer does have a nice telescopic reach on it as well, so it will mean that we can stack all of our straw nice and high in that shed there. That's going to be kind of like a temporary store off before we actually come to process the straw. It mean that we can kind of keep a little bit more of it in the dry. We will, if necessary, and if the straw levels dictate, we will use the hard stand here as well. But we have, across my farm, we do have a lot of storage space anyway, so hopefully we should be able to keep it all under wraps. That will aid the process because it's going to be a little bit drier and easier to go through the machines. Okay, and then off we go with the conveyor belt. So we're going to leave that on the front of the Kramer for now, because hopefully we're going to get this set up nice and soon. But for now, let's get this little iron horse off the trailer. So I was looking for... climb up the wheel there. I was looking for some muscle to pull this this Primos. It does require a lot of horsepower. And there was no way I was going to buy a brand new tractor to put onto the front of that just so it can sit inside the shed there and tick over with the PTO engaged. So I started to look at the older, larger machines, and had a few different options there, a few of the large case Maxims, looked at the Ford TW, that wasn't quite big enough for what I wanted, and then I came along this gem. Now, apparently, usually this John Deere has about 190 horsepower in it when it's new. This one has been chipped, but also the engine in it is not the original engine. It is an engine out of a slightly newer John Deere combine, which has then been chipped as well. So this has got a lot more power in it than it actually needs. It was upgraded through John Deere as well, so it's got a John Deere warranty on it, which is great still. I did pay a little bit extra to get that extended. But for now, it's going to be all it's going to have to do really for me is sit inside the shed on the front of the Krone there and just make sure it all runs properly. Now, if we can we'll get out here. You can see it's pairing at the moment there. It's in great condition for its age. I believe this is late 1980s, so it's in great nick still. And it's just pure muscle really. It does exactly what it says without any complications or questions, but it's just in great shape for its age. So that's why we picked this up, and I got this with all of the extended warranties and everything else attached to it for in the region of about beacons on here. In the region of £30,000, I think it was all in. So it's a great deal for me as far as I was concerned for this plant. But for now, we're just going to see if we can get this hooked up, and then we'll get the Primos down off the trailer. There we go. Enjoy the daylight because you're probably not going to see much more of it from inside the shed. So we're just going to pull this out of the way for now. We're going to get rid of those two hauliers. And then we can get ourselves all set up inside and see how it's looking. Okay. They must be inside the shed there. I'm going to figure out where these two drivers have gone. We'll get these guys up in the array and then we can carry on. I'm back with you in a second. Alright then guys, let's get ourselves backed in here. Oh, my door's shutting. Let's get that back open again. And so we're going to reverse the Primos up into there and then we'll see how it's looking. I should say as well, whilst we've got this great weather again for the second day working, we are currently ploughing through with some spring OSR, some spring canola planting. So we're on our last field of that today, which is good news. And then we've got some spring barley and wheat to put in for the rest of the land. So yeah, we're making great progress there, very happy with that. So it should only be about another maybe 3 or 4 days to get everything drilled up, which would be great. And then we can really focus on some grassland after that. We'll get down. I've got quite a steep incline into the shed here, but I planned that deliberately because I didn't want, when it does rain around here, it would have all come running down off the field there into the yard. I didn't want it to come down off the field into the yard and straight into the door, so that's why we kind of put a bit of a slope on things. Flip my front door there, am I? No. Tell you what, it's a real shame that this tractor's staying on here. I'd love to put this on my plough or something, just give it a good crank out in the field. So what we're going to do, I'm just trying to straighten this up. I want to put the auger out first. There we go. Make sure we're in a good enough position. Could be a little bit far forward. Let's figure this out. Oh yeah, it wants to come forward maybe a foot. Look at it! What a glorious machine. I've messed up my concrete floor already. Never mind. Okay, and then we'll just jump out. We'll go get the Kramer and bring the belts in. I'm not sure how this actually connects, so we need to figure this one out. Maybe our challenge for now. Around the corner. Whoop. That was close. Some diff locks on there. The crane is struggling up the ramp. There we go. Alrighty then, so I'm going to have a quick look at this, see if we can figure out how this is going to connect, and I'll come back to you in a second. Well, what's going on, guys? We are back. That took a little bit longer than anticipated, primarily because the second I got this hooked up, my game crashed, so we had to bring it all back up. However, we are here, we are set up, and we are almost ready to go. So, as you can see here, we have the conveyor belt and the feed system on the front of the baler. This side panel here comes off. And then we have the kind of a shredding unit which will mince up the bales as they come through, and then they go into the auger as a usual straw swath would, and from there it's exactly the same. Pipe on the side takes the pellets into the hopper, up the hopper into the bagging machine, and then we have some beautiful pallets coming out the end. So, I'm going to leave this here. I need to go and check on some drilling. We're about to go move this field, so I'm probably going to have to just give my driver a little bit of a hand because we're in some narrow lanes there and we need just to make sure there's no cars coming to spoil the day. So we will leave this here. I'm just going to shut my door. I'm coming down now. There we go. Perfect. So we're going to leave that shut up. Nicely done. And I will come back to you when we're starting to operate. So with that in mind, thank you very much for watching as always. If you have liked what you've seen or you have any questions, then please do feel free to drop a comment below and hit that like button and also smash that subscribe button. Until next time, thank you very much for watching. I have been Simulation for the Nation. You have been fantastic as always, and we'll see you in the next one. Until then, happy farming.